let's talk more on the results, the outcome, the final results, the bickerings, the complaints associated with the results. Let's start with some, well, from home, Lagos for you. You voted here in Lagos. So did it come to you as a surprise with the results for the PDP and the APC, the leading two political parties?
No. My projection all came true. All my projections came true.
What were they hinged on?
Performance. APC as a political party had a structure on ground. APC as a political party had persons who have shown performance over this period of time. And for that reason, APC as a political party would be able to weather the storm against all challenges.
Is that akin to what we're experiencing in Akwa Ibom, even though, well, there are still some complaints for that? Because some would also say the PDP in Akwa Ibom seem to have a structure also on ground.
Very true. Very, very true. But you must also remember that people who have enjoyed political benefits over a period of time, state, federal, they want to be able to continue to enjoy the political benefit, state and federal. And that's why there was the stiff opposition against PDP in Akwa Ibom State, because the federal has changed from being PDP to APC.
So there was an attempt to realign with the center.
Exactly.
And for Lagos, so sorry we're going ding dong back and forth. For Lagos,
yes,
for almost 40 years,
yes,
they've never aligned with the center.
Good.
And for the first time in the history of almost 40 years, we're getting to see a state coming to align with the center.
Yeah.
Will that make any difference in what we have seen over the years for Lagosians?
Of course it will. Of course it will. There are a number of issues that would have been of great benefit to people of Lagos over time that could not go through. Creation of new local governments, for instance. It went in cohort at the federal level because they didn't have the number of votes at the federal level to pass the creation. Now it's the opportunity. For the first time, Lagos State will now be able to make a demand at the federal level for the severance fee they are supposed to have been paid since the movement of the federal capital out of Lagos to Abuja. By law, by standard practice all over the world, the former capital enjoys severance benefits for the next period of 25 years. Lagos State has not even got it once because they've never had the opportunity to be able to make such demands. They have the opportunity now. For the first time, Lagos State will not need to spend its own money to maintain federal roads. For the first time, there's so many firsts that will happen.
You know, talking about roads, a couple of roads in Lagos that were under construction, and at that point in time we also had representatives of the government at the center and the state government here talking about those roads, and the news or the gist were about pipelines being moved, you know, oil pipelines being moved for proper construction. It got to a point, refusal to move such.
That's right.
So people who live in such communities are likely to have it sorted out and have their roads fixed.
Precisely. So there are a number of factors that will come to the fore that will be of great benefit.
But should governance be that way?
We're maturing. We're maturing. You see, the political understanding of the relationship between the federal and the state has to mature over time. And it is getting to that. But more importantly, I am of the radical left. My view is that all these are just temporary issues. We still need to get to the bottom of it. We need to go through a period of restructuring. We have to restructure governance in Nigeria. We cannot continue like this.
Set an agenda for the new government of General Buhari.
We call it Sovereign National Conference. At the end of the administration, rather than go directly into an election, let us go into a national conference.
But what happened to the last one? We just finished a national conference. Shouldn't that be looked into?
That was not a sovereign national conference.
But it was a national conference.
That was a national
There were also other reports, like the Rossinier reports, that there are speculations that that's one of the things that they want to start off with. Now, these two things in particular, let's use the Rossinier report and that conference. What should they do with those two reports?
The first is to be able to decide what we want. Do we want a regional government? Do we want a zonal government? Or do we want a federal state, that is federating states? You see, until we decentralize power from the center and give so much powers to the state to continue development at their pace, until we're able to do that, we will continue to have this rancor over and over again. We would never solve the problem of people wanting to be there by all means necessary. You see, federating states who have the outlook to develop on their own should be allowed to do that. It is not a question of asking the federal to dictate pace of development for different parts of the country. The aspiration of people to develop should be left to the states, so that each state will be able to take advantage of the potentials that lie within such states. And a state that may not be able to survive is at liberty to join with some other state.
A partner in memorandum of understandings, yes, and all of that.
Exactly. Because it is only when we start looking at the structure of Nigeria in such a perspective that we'll be able to see. As a matter of fact, I'm a very radical person. One of the things that I've always advocated for is removal of the term state of origin from everything we're doing, because that is the barrier between us and being Nigerians. You remove state of origin, they say, who are you? I'm a Nigerian. I'm not a Lagosian. I'm not from Ogun State. I'm not from Edo State. Statism is the barrier between us and being Nigerians. I have been an advocate of that for many years. If we're able to get over the issue of what state of origin you come from, you will see that we will see ourselves primarily as Nigerians.
Let's close on this. You've been a member of the Professionals for Change, even years before the formation of APC. Correct. That has the slogan Change. Yeah. What's the change about with your professional body?
For now, we're looking at change to good governance, because Nigerians have been pilloried over these last few years with very bad governance. Governance that has been on paper, not in terms of fiscal development. Electricity. For years, so much money had gone into electricity, and yet there is nothing to show for it. It's not rocket science. 10 megawatt station costs maybe about $2.5 million to buy. Buy 100 pieces. Distribute 3 per state. Some people will have lights 24/7 in each of those states. That's the beginning. If you do that, people will know that government is concerned about energy supply to the general population. And that's the way to look at it. It's not embarking on gigantic projects that will take the next 10 years before it comes to fruition. There are things that you could look. When Fashola started doing the small 10 megawatt stations in different parts of Lagos, crime rates went down. People didn't know that. Street lights were on. So people didn't have the dark places to hide in.
So we get to
CCTV was working.
Was in the nexus between darkness and crime.
Exactly.
Well, a good place to end its discussion. Dr. Tukumba Adedeji would like to thank you for finding time. He's of the Professionals for Change. He's been speaking with us, looking at the outcome of the governorship polls, as well as setting an agenda for the incoming administration, May 29th. Well, Sunrise Daily takes a moment now. We'll return shortly. Join us again.